evening and welcome to the Friday Fry Up. As I said, today me and Bully are going to come on. We're just going to talk about what has been going on this week and what we've been doing. So I'm going to bring Bully Biscuit on now, or whatever he wants to call himself tonight. So here he is. Bully Biscuit.
Good evening, Uncle Fester.
Good evening. How are you, Matt?
Not too bad, mate. Not too
I
bad.
put my shirt on today because I had to go and see probation.
And I can see you've got us live as well.
It's a weekly thing I do. So I got to check in. So how are you, Bully Bust?
Not too bad, me old China. Not too bad.
So we've had an interesting week this week, really.
Yeah, very interesting.
How did you feel yesterday?
How did I feel?
It was quite remarkable, wasn't it? That the CMS, they call everybody the fathers deadbeats, and then in a letter they actually admit to removing staff.
Yeah.
So,
it's quite amazing, that really, isn't it? You know, they're out in media, they're pumping out that people are deadbeats because they're trying to get away from pain during the COVID. But really, in reality, it's because they're understaffed.
Yeah, in reality, they've messed up, and it just shows this one big cluster. I tell you what, mate. Did you see the video I posted 1 o'clock this morning with Dennis Skinner?
Yes. I've been in touch with Susie. She's gonna see if she can get hold of him.
I tell you what, 49 years of experience, a man who, okay, a lot of the people watching this will not like some of his politics, but mate, he's a man's man. He says it as it is, and he doesn't give a shit.
Oh,
who's that?
Dan. Let me take this, Clive.
I'll let you take that. So done the video this morning with Mr. just showing, Dennis Skinner, 49 years of politics, and what a politician. Unbelievable. He held people to account. So today, what's been happening today? Loose women. I love loose women, actually. No, I don't mean that type, by the way. All right? I mean the series on TV. So I had a clip sent to me today by Craigie Boy from Loose Women about parental alienation, which a lot of people go through when they separate, and there's children in a separation of a relationship. All right, and when is it children involved? There usually is a bit of parental alienation, and parental alienation actually can be from both sides. The kids get forgotten in the relationship, and they're the most important, because the kids should have 50% of the father, 50% of the mother, and the grandparents as well should be involved. All right. So Loose Women today, I love Loose Women, and Bully sent me across. The big man's back, Bully Biscuit's back, so we'll bring him back in. Bully Biscuit, you sent me. I love Loose Women, mate. You sent me Loose Women today.
Yeah.
I know you. I know what you were thinking. I know what you were thinking. You got a big smile on your face when I said that. But I got a bit of a problem with Loose Women.
Go on.
To the panel who talked about parental alienation today, thank you very much for raising it. However, we know where further forward. It's great that they brought it to the limelight, but a year tomorrow they were discussing the same subject, Bully.
Yeah.
I'm going to show. No, and nothing's happened. I'm going to show today's quickly. All right. And it was great that they showed it. All right. So here they come.
Now, we love it when you get in touch with us about topics that we should be tackling, but this message really stopped us in our tracks. And this is a mother talking. My son's last words to me on the phone 3 years ago were, "I'm not going to agree to see you until you sort out the endowment policy payout with Daddy." And then he hung up. He was 11 when he said that. Now, this tweet came from a parental alienation campaign group. And if you don't know what that is, it's described legally as when a child's hostility towards one parent is not justified and is the result of psychological manipulation by the other parent, and it often results in a parent being rejected by their child.
So that was the opening line today, Craigie boy. All right? Which is absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant.
But we've got to remember the CMS, they actually use alienation and discrimination of the father, which they cover a little bit later on and say, you know, the absent parent, the word absent, which they use, is a word, yeah, I agree with them, is a word which shouldn't be used because it's not an absent parent. The parent is still there. An absent parent is a parent who buggers off. All right? Or the absent parent, actually, if I look at it, the way the CSA work by alienation, they actually create the absence of a parent because a parent runs away from them. So that was the opening credits of Loose Women today. Now, I want to show you something from last year. All right? If you look at the date on here, the date on this one is 24th of October, 2019. And what's the date today, Craigie boy?
23rd.
23rd. Listen to the opening remark on this one.
This is a shocking but sadly not a unique case. A father has been barred by a judge from seeing his children because his ex-wife, the children's mother, spent years demonizing him in front of them, ultimately turning them against their father. So what can be done to stop so-called parental alienation? What do you think on this, Jane? Oh, well, I've written a lot about this over the years. It's a real bugbear of mine, how secretive the family court system is. So what happens is that people go into this sort of system and everything is kind of shut down and kept secret. So you can't ever really get to grips with what you're dealing with. And it means that it's not really open to criticism. And this particular case today, this is very similar to someone I know who's had exactly the same situation, who has been prevented from seeing his children now for 7 years. And as far as anybody can make out, there's never been any evidence as to why. He ended up in this situation in court, and the judge, in the same way as this judge, apologised to him and said, "You should not have been alienated from your children, but I'm really sorry, there's nothing I can do about it because they've been so poisoned against you that we now can't force them to see you." Now, that is a broken down system. Obviously, it's an extreme case, and there were two extreme cases there. But for me now, you have to get in at the start. So what they've done with these children is eventually, when the problem was already rampant, they threw a lot of money at the situation, tried to give the children sort of...
So what we heard today was a repeat virtually of what they said last year. It can't be that much of a bother because you only hear it once a year off them. I'm a little bit... When I actually saw the video, I was actually going, yes, come on, let's have it! And then I just got a bit deflated when I just come on here and looked at YouTube to look for the one you sent me. Yeah. And then I seen that, and I seen the date, and I thought, really?
Still not further forward.
Really? You know, where are we? you know, we're in the same position, and what a lot of people, and she was, the lady there said, extreme case. We see extreme case. Well, you and Katie and the people in CSA Hell talk about extreme cases. We've had extreme cases on you, and what you can't get no extremer than what Ian's going through.
Exactly. And the police are refusing to even look at it.
The police, members of parliament, the law, and you know, she's just talking about 2 judges. And a couple of nights ago, we done Knowles this time last week. We need to get Noel back on. Knowles' judge told him they had no jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So we know further forward. So what's your take on it?
I just think it's absolutely berserk, the stuff that's going on. You know, Parliament and, well, the government, they're not holding these people to account at all when they should be. And, you know, they're blocking media, they're blocking access to justice. Just totally wrong.
It seems to be, you know, excellent that Loose Women have just spoke out about it, and they've actually agreed that it's wrong, the system's broken. But we're a year down the line where they spoke about it a year ago.
Still much.
And if people were really worried about it, they would be jumping up and down, mate, and shouting about it. All right. So that's where we are on that.
People don't seem to be interested if they're not affected by something. It's only when they become affected by it, then they show more interest.
I think that's you've hit it on the head. It's a never happened to me syndrome, and it's not happening to me. So why try and fix it? It's not broken to me. So yeah. So Craigie boy, what have you got planned for the weekend, son?
Oh, I don't know. Not a lot.
So how was your day this morning?
It was all right. Thank you.
I tell you what did you drink last night?
I've had a drink. It was red wine, but I hadn't had much to eat. And
I thought that.
And medication as well.
What time did you get off the phone last night?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You were phoning me at 1:15.
Was that?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
I know you love me, but you don't have to keep reminding me. I tell you.
The thing is, you know, listening to those recordings, that horrible, arrogant woman, that really triggers me, you know.
I know, Craig, I know it does, but you've got to. I know it's easy to say, but then triggers, you've just got to let it go because there's nothing you can do about it. No. What it does, it actually springs up the thoughts of how you were treated. So what you do then, I know how you work, Craigie boy. I know how you work. And, you know, I know the tongue will come out. You know, yeah. When you get angry. It makes me laugh, you know. Definitely makes me laugh. Are you in tier 3?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't watch the news, mate. It's a load of bollocks.
No, I know that, mate. I know. I know Wales have just got into a tier down there. I don't know what tier they've gone into. I just spoke to my ex and spoke to the kids. I tell you what, I caught up with Ian today.
Yeah.
Ian,
how's he doing?
Yeah, he's all right at the moment. It's Lee as well. So we need to bring them all back on. And we need to do a group chat, I think.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. Really good. Have you heard anything from any of the Muppets in Parliament?
Nope.
I haven't either. Actually, we shouldn't be.
I was saying, we sent these emails during the week, and we haven't had any responses. And look at the email list that we sent it to. They're just not interested at all.
Well, the email list, that email I sent was quite a big email. And it was about children safeguarding, because I've got to the stage today now where I've sat back and looked at it all, and through my experience and my knowledge, where Nicola, all right, and me and Nicola are very good friends today. And she is absolutely brilliant, and she's done a brilliant job with the kids as well. And where we are is, I speak to her today more than I speak to anybody. Once a day I'll clock in and see how they're doing, and the big thing is we had this bitterness, the two of us really, and we were just as bad as each other. All right. And really the only people who suffered were the kids. And when you if you stand in the mirror and look at what you actually done when you were splitting up in the relationship, the kids suffer.
They do.
Because they suffer, they don't get to see the grandparents. They get cut off from family. People get alienated. And it's just, I remember Nicola saying I'm going to bring Nicola on, because from Nicola's point of view was, you're getting on with your life. I'm bringing your children up. And you were out now, and you were partying, and you were back to your single ways. And that's how Nicola looked at it. And and that's what a lot of...
resentment, I assume.
It can be resentment. And resentment's actually, when it comes to emotions, the biggest and the worst emotion, depression, anger makes depression, because you get angry and you press it down. But it turns to resentment, and resentment is the hardest one to get rid of. Resentment is where you, all of a sudden, you resent the person, you resent the organization, or you resent whatever is affecting you, believe is causing you problems, and you want to... I'll give you an example. Resentment, Craig. You resent the CSA, or you used to resent the CSA, and you want nothing more than to really get in there. And a lot of people feel that, because all the hurt, everything you've got going in your head is, how can they do this? Well, I want to get back. But when you go at them, the only person you're hurting is yourself and the people around you. You never, ever get to the cause. So resentment turns back on you.
I guess it's like drinking a cup of poison and waiting for the other person to die, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I tell you when I'll give you a very good analogy of resentment. A lot of, and it might have happened to you as well. But if you felt hard done by as a child, you were from a separated family, and all of a sudden you meet your partner, your loved one, and then you start turning around and saying, well, this is the type of childhood I had. I was led down here, I was led down this, and I weren't looked after you, and you start complaining to the actual partner. All right, the partner actually mirrors what you're saying, and what you're saying is all this resentment and anger you've got inside, because you never got shown your emotions and the fundamentals way of the mind works. You spill all your guts out, and everybody does it when they meet their new partner. Whatever's gone on in their life, they spill it out on the table as you get to know each other. But all of a sudden, you can take the new woman of your life or the new man of your life, take them to your family house, and they meet the father, they meet the mother, and they all get on. And over time, as you're telling her more about your upbringing or about your life, that individual actually starts manifesting everything you got to them. They mirror what you were thinking and saying to them. So when you keep going back and forth to the house, after a while, they walk in the house and they got this face on them and they don't want to be there. But you covered it up. So if you felt neglected, if you felt neglected, you felt mistreated or something in your childhood that you weren't happy with, you covered it up as you walk into the house. However, they walk in behind him, mate, and they haven't got it covered up because they can cover it up because they mirror the feelings you had. And a lot of times, and it happened to me, and I've spoke to my family about it, was I said a lot of things to Nicola, and Nicola was wearing it as she was walking into the house. I could cover it up. And after a while, the parents start going, what's wrong with her? What's wrong? Why is she off? Why is she? And they start drifting off, mate. And I see it all the time especially where men take the women back to the family and the women start going, what's wrong with your parents? But what they don't realise is they've got all this resentment that you've told them. And your parents pick up on it. And it took me a hell of a long time to realise that. And I had to apologise to Nicola and my father because I was the cause of a lot of damage. And that's resentment for you, mate. Resentment can be awful. I've seen it so many times, and I see it all the time now. And we create it ourselves, but you know, I don't know if you've ever had that.
Probably.
Yeah. You probably have, mate. But you know, so
I'll tell you something quite interesting.
Yeah.
I've got a half sister, and I've got a couple of half sisters in Australia, and
hang on, half sisters, and you never ever told me about that.
Well,
Craig, come on, Pat. Come on, what's going on? Let me tell you.
I've only recently, got in touch with them. In the past few years.
Are they married?
Yeah. Anyway,
are they frustrated?
Shush. Now then, the younger one.
Yeah.
She didn't see my dad for years.
Right.
Since she was about 12 years old or wherever.
Yeah.
And she only just, it was me who got them in touch with each other. And as you know, my father passed away not so long ago.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. It's all right. And she was saying to me in a telephone conversation last year that he was ill at the time last year, and she was saying that she's very sad that she'd paid attention to her mother poisoning her against my father, and now he's passed away, and she's only recently, it's only been the last year or so that she got in touch with him, and her kids never got to see him. So she's absolutely devastated, and she feels so bad the fact that she was poisoned and she didn't get to see him. She didn't get to see him. She only spoke to him over the phone.
And I'm going to tell you that hurt Dad as well, mate. I can tell you that now. That your dad hurt inside. All right. I don't know if he ever told you that. But it's not her fault. But in some aspects, she may blame herself. She may have these thoughts going on in her head. Only if, and
it's hard. The thing is, she feels really guilty, but it's not her fault. She's in her 40s now, and this is how bad it is. But this is what alienation does, and poisoning. Later on in life, it's really going to have a impact on your mental health.
And you bang on there, Craig, because what happens then is, what if comes in? What if I reached out? I should have reached out, and it plays out in your mind, and then you become the victim and angry. As I always say, your conscious mind plays the thought process. It creates the emotions and the feelings, and then the guilt kicks in, and then she'll play the victim, get angry, get concerned, and then it'll go back again, and until she clears them emotions inside, that guilt will just keep playing out, mate. Which
might ask her if she wants to come on and have a chat about it. Being the victim of alienation.
Yeah, that would be great. But I'd also ask if, first off, is to connect, because that's going to be an emotional thing, and I would rather do some clarity work with her. Clear out what's going on in the mind, because she shouldn't be feeling any guilt there. She shouldn't be blaming herself. She shouldn't be blaming anybody. Actually, she shouldn't be blaming the mother, to be honest with you, Craig. And don't take this the wrong way, mate. All right. Unless we're in somebody else's shoes, we shouldn't judge them. And it was, it was wrong, but did she know it was wrong? She felt hurt inside. So it sounds like the mother didn't understand her emotions and her mind. So at the end of the day, she just felt all this hate and all this, she felt all this anger and all this emotion on her, and she had resentment. So she resented the father. So she didn't realize what she was doing. So that's the problem. The problem is in school, there's two elements that we don't get taught, which we should be taught from a young age. And that's, one is the fundamentals of the mind, how to shift the emotions, how emotions work, how the senses in the body work. And the 5 prime senses is smell, taste, hear, see, and feel. So if you see, I'll give you an example how the emotions kick in. The emotions, they kick in so quick, mate. You get thoughts in your head, and they're 30 milliseconds, poof, straight away. But yesterday, remember we talked about yesterday, Mark walks in, he sees the envelope on the floor, brown envelope. Just by his vision has only picked up the brown, all right? And it's happening so quick. Before he even notes what it is on the floor, before he even, it's in his mind already. It's triggered a thought, and he's gone, oh, no. Here we go, another letter. It could have been a letter with a check in there. All right? But in his mind, it was CSA. Oh, my God, what do they want? Because of the memories he's got stored there from his experiences and knowledge, straight away, mate, it's the worst thing ever. He looks at it and he walks straight over it. Instead of actually turning around and going, them thoughts, when they hit you, you go, all right, slow down. CSA, okay, CSA letter. Might not be a CSA letter. Might be the National Lottery. I might have won some money. I might have been a competition. What's the truth? Is it? It might be a check off the CSA for overpayment. Right? If you can see what I'm on about, you play with your emotions, shift your emotions, get into a good place, open it up, and then go, oh yeah, I thought it was that. There's nothing you can do about it. It's come to you. And this is what I said to Lee the other day was, Lee, there's nothing you can do about it. It's come. That's all you can do is go, yeah, acknowledge it. Don't beat yourself up. And then to put it to the side, have a breathe, have a think, and then work on it. What they are doing, they send it out on a Friday. You pick them up on a Friday, it just ruins your weekend, mate. Because they know people don't know how to play with you. People don't know the fundamentals of the mind and how to move emotions. So And money, I said yesterday, we don't learn about money either. Right. I know we don't learn about money because I used to spend it as quick as I got it. I never had a exact. What were we?
Weekend millionaires.
And I tell you what, mate.
That's it, boom.
I remember. That's all Craigie, come on, mate. How many times did we used to go out and get absolutely hammered in the first couple of weeks?
Oh, no, that's it, yeah. And then that's it, skin for the rest of the month.
We were on less than 800 quid.
I know.
850 quid, I think it was, at one point. And we used to have some good times with that.
We did. We had some good. I'll never forget the time when we were going to Egypt and we walked around the corner with a bag of Chinese in the hand from the guardroom, and there's a whole squadron on parade.
Yeah, but we had the afternoon off. What else were we going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
And we got away with that, Craig.
Yeah. We got away with it. Klaus just laughed at it.
Yeah. But it was... Egypt was good, mate. Egypt.
I tell you, the party when they started picking us up and putting us on top of the chairs and stuff.
Yeah, I tell you, A Squadron. Oh, was you there when A Squadron's mat table went missing?
Yes, we nicked it. It was B Squadron actually.
It was B Squadron. We nicked it.
We put it on our fire, didn't we? Jules Forst. I was talking to Jules Forstick about it. He went, That's where our table looks. Remember in the C Squadron group?
Yeah.
The photograph of the table on fire. And Jules Forstick goes, that's where the table went.
It was the RHQ, mate. It was the map tables and everything. And we had a bonfire.
Oh my God, that was hilarious, wasn't it?
I tell you what, mate. We used to, we were like Fred Carno's army, mate, at one point. But the best job I had out there, mate, and the best job I had in the army, and I'll tell you now, mate, was driving Klaus Fischer and Tom Thornycroft. I tell you what, they were brilliant, mate. They were, but we had some good men, mate. We had some good men in C Squadron and in the regiment, really, they were all good.
Yeah,
so
good regiment.
Well, did you go on the rugby?
No.
In Egypt, Cairo?
Oh yes, I did. Yeah, that was cracking, wasn't it?
When we said to the bus driver, why do you drive in the middle of the road on the white lanes? And he turned around and he said, to keep me straight.
Oh, Ahmed, that was his name, Ahmed, wasn't it?
Ahmed, yeah.
Ahmed.
And we were all getting drunk on the back of the bus, and we stopped at that checkpoint, and everybody got out and had a pee.
So I've got the photograph on the...
Have you got a photograph? Who did we leave behind on them checkpoints?
Oh,
we left two people behind, me. And then we had to go back. Either we stopped further down the road and they had to run to us, man. I tell you what. Egypt was a cracking time, mate. Egypt was... Was you on Cyprus?
No.
We done Cyprus, and we were in the Fibia village, and we were doing house clearance.
Yeah.
And I had Coldstream. I think we had Coldstream guards or Grenadier guards with us, and mate, a couple of nights before, me and Spence McCormack were in an harbour area. We're all in the harbour area, and we were on stag about 2:00 in the morning. And I always remember that I think it was the Grenadiers, and one of the Grenadiers come over and he woke me up. Spence, you're on stag. And I went, yeah, no problem. Give me 2 minutes. And he said, what? I said, give me 2 minutes. I started unzipping, and he turned and he went, what are you doing? I said, I've got to get dressed. He went, yeah. I said, I've got to get dressed. He said, you're joking? I said, no, I'm naked. I said, I'll get dressed now and I'll be there now with you. And he went, Spence, what happens if we got bumped? I said, I just roll over in my kicking bag and I'll start shooting. The rest of you can run. And I got dressed, got out the old scratcher, mate. And I went on stag, finished the stag. The next morning, we were all sitting around having a cup of tea. And I'm sure Spence McCormack done the same thing as well. Me and Spence McCormack was on one side of the actual harbour area. I was on the other side, mate. And the guys from the Coldstream, either Coldstream or Grenadiers, turned around, proper infantry guys. They couldn't believe, mate, that we were naked in our scratchers, comfy as hell. But we done the village. We got to clear the village, mate, and I got stuck between. I had all my pouches on, mate, and I got stuck in, and I was shooting away, and they had to kick me into the actual house because it was a little gap, and I was stuck in it. Go, kick me! Tell you, good times, mate. And Klaus with his golf course, mate.
Yeah, he's a cracking bloke.
It was, mate. You know, but getting back to parental alienation. So we've got parental alienation, we got CMS alienation, discrimination. We got the government actually not doing what they're supposed to do for veterans, lack of support for mental health, and there's a catalogue of errors, really, Craig.
It is. And the thing is, you know, they're actually causing mental health issues because they know what the CSA are doing, CMS is doing. They're going on about male suicides and things like that, but they're doing nothing about it. They know fully well what the CSA, CMS is doing. They're actually causing mental health problems. I'm just going to put something down to you here. You know, when you look at it, for the short-term gain that the CSA do, what they get, you know, the force you to pay unaffordable amounts of money, which is totally unsustainable. And, you know, quite a few people end up getting so stressed that they go sick because of the distress that's been caused. And so, really, when you think the money that the CSA are taking, it's not in the best interest of the kids because it's unsustainable. But it's like a vicious circle. If you look at it this way. But so the guy goes sick, so the kid's not getting the money because he's getting paid sick money. So the children aren't getting paid. The government is losing out on tax, and they're having to pay benefits out.
But Craig, on the serious note there, mate, all right, what you just said is, look, that email I sent, I'm actually going to pull it up, all right, because that email is, mate, I've got a lot of emails actually I've sent, especially this week.
It's so frustrating when these MPs don't respond.
Definitely, mate. You know. So, right, the email I sent, mate. All right, you've seen it already, okay? And I'll just go through it quickly with it. All right. So, what I sent was what I sent to my local MP because I actually sent this email off, all right, which is et al. So that's everybody. And if you look at all the people I sent it to, that's all the people I sent it to, Craig. Anne Longfield, PHSO, ICE, Ministers, DWP, contacts, Johnny Mercer, Tommy Atkins, Gareth Davis, even your favourite friend, what's her name?
Theresa May.
Stedman Scott,
yeah.
Costley. And I sent in, well, what I said on this was safeguarding children. So I said et al. That means everybody. So everyone talks about safeguarding of children, about their welfare, protection of vulnerable children. What are you really doing? Because what I see, what I witness over the last few months is saddening, as there is a major area that is still ignored and the issue is pushed away and neglected by most of the government. Key groups covered children vulnerability, as reported by the Children's Commissioner, are children in households. All right, and the key groups of vulnerability children I pointed out from reports. But the interesting thing is, as I'm going through this, Craig, I start pointing out the CMS, the client charter, and how they say the children is at heart of everything. All right. But what really got me going at the end was I come across a report there. The Special Forces are frightened about our UK government departments. I've put that in as well.
Yeah.
And the bottom part where really I've gone to town on them. I've showed the 3 videos, but having taken time out to raise my concerns, would actually hope to get a reply and acknowledgement of this concern, as it will not go away, and by ignoring it, it only creates similar failures. Exposed by Lord Lemming. Lord Lemming done an inquiry, all right, independent statutory inquiry, following the death of a child called Victoria Clamby, all right, in 2001. And what I said is, as it is evidenced by the interaction with the parents, that the majority of the conclusions from this report are lacking within the governmental department still decades later. The conclusions Lord Lemmy come together with, all right, on that report he done in 2001, a lot of them conclusions still haven't been enforced, mate. All right, so that was my concern which I raised. I done it on the safeguarding of children. I got a letter, I got an email back. Will Quince, Member of Parliament, Colchester. Thank you. It's the generic. Thank you for your email. If you're outside my constituents, I don't want anything to know. I don't want to know about it.
Will Quince.
Will Quince. Then I sent it to Jamie Stone and Victoria Benson. I haven't heard nothing back off them, Craig.
No.
And then I got advised by Johnny Mercer. I spoke to somebody in Johnny Mercer's office, and they were all right. He sent an email back. He said he would send it to veterans, and I'll try and pull that up now so people can see what Johnny Mercer's office said. But I sent it. What I done then, I sent this to my own MP. All right, my local MP. Please excuse me for actually not sharing this email below with you, but having reached out to you previously via email and by phoning Sarah Olney office, which is she's in the area next, an MP in the next borough. It is rather disappointing not to receive any sort of reply, which is concerning as you're an elected member of Parliament for the area I live in. As you will note by my email below, I have concerns that I wish to discuss about incompetence of the UK government and areas they are falling short. Here are some areas that I wish to point out. 1. Veterans, suicide 64 in 2020 so far. Veterans, lack of service support. Forces charities, over 1,850 registered in the UK, majority letting down the community they were set up to serve. Child maintenance group, alienating, discriminating its clients, not working to policy that's supposed to be, causing deaths. Safeguarding of children, read the email below. Lack of mental health support, NHS services, Richmond and Hounslow. Members of Parliament breaching their code of conduct by ignoring members of public they represent and concerns. Not you, by the way, I put in brackets. As you will note, I have quite a considerable amount of information that I would want to discuss. As my representative, if you could free space in your busy diary for us to meet to discuss, I would appreciate it. Understand the COVID-19 restrictions, but let's not use this as an excuse for not dealing with pressing issues. As you will note, one person that we know of has committed suicide and contemplated it because of the ill treatment of the UK government department, as you will see in the email below. Look forward to hearing you in the next 96 hours. They actually come back to me within 45 minutes.
Wow, that's good.
And they've actually turned around and they put in stuff together. So they will what they've said is they'll look at seeing about getting it read on the floor of the House of Commons, which is great if they do it. But I don't know at the moment, Craig, because I would like to go and spend time and talk to them and say, look, this is where we are. All right. Johnny Mercer, yeah. This is the reply I got off Uncle John. All right. Captain Johnny Mercer. Captain Blunderpants, mate. All right. Here we go.
And
Clive, this is Clive. Dear Clive, thank you for taking time to email Johnny. In the first instance, could I trouble you for your full postal address, please? And at that point, I thought, oh, here we go. You know what's coming. And I said, et al. So everyone talks about safeguarding of children, about the wealth. Where is it? So that's the email I just read out to you. So my reply straight away to Alex from Johnny Mercer's office was, Alex, thank you for your email and taking time to respond to me. I know the protocol for members of parliament are only to be concerned with the geographical areas that they have been nominated to represent. This is a problem, the main problem with our political system, as it lets everyone hide behind the fact. Although this subject is actually very important, considering it is the safeguarding of children, it should be the interest of Captain J. Mercer, as a Minister of Veterans Affairs. See, I have actually raised a concern that our members of serving personnel are frightened of our government, actually individuals from our special forces. Secondly, a veteran who took his life on the 3rd of July 2020, underlying cause was the treatment, alienation, discrimination by a government department. Actually, as I write this in hope of Johnny trying to raise this issue, it does sadden me, as one of two things will happen. Either an email from yourself saying, unfortunately, you're not in our area, so cannot do anything, or will forward, or secondly, will forward the email to the Office of Veterans Affairs, who will then send back a generic email with answers, as they have previously done, which I responded to, and still wait. I still haven't had no reply. All right. I live in Twickenham, so outside your jurisdiction. He sent an email back. And have a guess what it was.
you're not in his constituency.
It weren't far off that, mate. Dear Clive, many thanks for your prompt response also. So, you know, we're starting to build a relationship now. All right. The love is coming together. Then he goes, I completely understand your frustrations. Thank you for that. With this, and I can assure you that Johnny takes the safeguarding of children extremely seriously. Well, I sent that on the 21st of October. He sent that back on the 21st of October. If he takes it extremely seriously, then would have reached out or something would have been said. All right? But it hasn't. I unfortunately am unable to comment on the policy of the Office of Veterans Affairs and how they respond to correspondence, as I am not educated on their processes and how cases are handled. Given that you are not a constituent of Johnny's, all I am able to do is forward your email to Johnny's ministerial department for their overview, if you so wish. Well, I sent you the email, so yeah, I do wish. Given the subject matter of your email, however, I would also strongly advise you contact your local MP, as they may be more appropriate point of call on this. Again, I completely understand your frustrations with the process, but I hope you understand the limitations of Johnny's constituents' office as with your correspondence. However, I'm a veteran.
Clive, you know, if it's in the national importance, it's in the national interest, then they can respond. And you were contacting him not as a constituency MP, but as a minister, in his role as the Minister for Veterans. You know.
Yeah, and that's what's disappointed, because Will Quince, I believe, I don't know if he served. I don't know what his background is.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't. Is he sure he's not a reservist?
No, he's not, mate. He's an oxygen thief, mate.
Okay, but at the end of the day, Craig, you know, the way I look at it, mate, is I reached out to Johnny, and lots of people are reaching out to Johnny. We're not in his constituents, but we are veterans, and he represents us. Yeah. But he doesn't. He's blocked me. He's blocked you. So, and I know he's sent police around other veterans' houses and blocked others. And I don't know if you know, we've just had our 65th death. All right, which it just keeps going, mate. And this is what's annoying, because they just block us. So that's what I've been doing this week. I've been writing emails this week and doing what people ask me to do now.
Me too. I've been bombing off the emails as well.
They give me a case number. They give me a case number. No? They've actually given me a case number.
Who?
Johnny's department.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I got a case number. At least I got something out of it. But I don't know where to go with it next. I'm thinking about where to go with it next, and that's where I really want to see Dennis Skinner. I want to sit down with him. I want to pick his brains before he's getting on, mate. He's in his 80s, and he's a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, he hasn't been too well, I don't think.
Yeah, but we can't lose that wealth of knowledge. He needs to share it. And that's what I want. I want any MPs who speak out to come and tell us how we can get this system to work. Because I tell you what, mate, if I've got to stand in the local elections, if I can, I will stand there, because I've had enough, mate. And I think it's the only way we can go forward.
They're just taking the mick now. They're just not representing the people at all. They're only in it for their own personal gain.
So that's where we are, big boy.
I know, and I keep bumping on about the rule of law, and the rule of law is a constitutional principle, and it is the responsibility of the the Attorney General to uphold and promote the rule of law. And
but who is the Attorney General?
Eh?
Who is the Attorney General? And who did she lead? Who did she let down? Which one of our?
Lee.
Exactly. Come on,
Craig. There's a couple of others, other of her constituents. And the thing is, she is from a public law background and a judicial review background. Okay, so that's why she's probably the Attorney General. So she should know better. She can see that there's unlawful actions going on, but she's turning a blind eye to it.
Listen, look, she's turning a blind eye because she gets 84,000. She's in ministerial position, so she gets more money again. She gets expenses. She gets allowances for housing, for travel. She makes over 100,000 easy, mate, a year. All right, and don't forget, when COVID kicked off, they were offered 10,000 a month for their offices. They'd already paid to set their offices up, but then also they're having a pay rise. Work it out. They've been offered pay. They're going to get a pay rise, and they get a pay rise every year anyway. But what you've got to understand, Craigie boy, is the civil servants are behind. So the civil servants are not going to stop their pay rise, because the way they look at it, mate, they run the way I look at it, they go there for 4 years. They're the puppet masters. The puppet masters, the civil servants. The puppets, the MPs. Nothing ever changes. It just gets worse. 2001, we had Lord Lemon. That's 19 years ago. I didn't want to mention this one. Grenfell.
Oh, yeah.
Grenfell, they had fire. Their cladding was not fireproof, and it was recommended years ago in an inquiry. We have conclusions in inquiries, and we do not enforce them. We do not go 100% enforce. And the people who should be held accountable, are the actual governments.
The guy who was the minister at the time was Gavin Barwell, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And the report was sat on his desk for 3 years.
Exactly. So what you've got, and this is what I'm on about, is if you work for a company and I come along as the health and safety manager or the policy manager, and you're not enforcing the policy, mate, I'm going to come down on you. And I'm going to come down on you like you've never been. I'll be down on you like a ton of bricks. All right. because when we're working, we've got to work to policy. However, they don't make their policies. They're above the law. There's nobody holding them account. And if you look at the MPs, mate, the MPs sit back. It's like a schoolboy festival in there. They have a little bit of a shout, a little bit of a squeal like women in a playground. All right.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. And when I seen Dennis Skinner yesterday really going for it, I thought if we had an house or a political party of 300 Dennis Skinners, mate, when people go in there to raise a bill or they're going to spend taxpayers' money, but we need Dennis Skinners in there. Actually, we need people to be frightened of raising things in that House of Commons, because there will be people sitting there ready to hold them to account and justify. Dodgy Dave, mate, had a big smirk on his face.
Dodgy Dave.
Dodgy Dave. And you got Dodgy Blaze, mate. Blaze, a war criminal.
Yes.
Come on. None of them are held to account. They make millions. It's a cash cow. Being a politician is a cash cow. You know, and I've never seen a politician yet, with all your austerity cuts and all the pay cuts, take a pay cut.
No, they're getting pay rises again. Well, as you said before, they're getting pay rises.
How many?
These pay rises should actually be, we the public should decide that.
Yeah, but here's a quick one for you, Craig. How many of them got offshore banks?
No, I know. A lot of them probably.
Panama report.
Yeah,
and quite a few of them with their trousers down.
David Cameron.
And that Panama report has disappeared to Panama.
Oh.
Nothing come out after it.
No.
But going back, loose women, ladies, thank you very much for what you've done today. However, it was just a repeat from last year. We just need to keep this going. You need to keep your foot on the gas and keep going with it. Craig, I'm going to close it down now. Anything else you're going to say?
With this loose women thing, it'd be a good idea if they started, getting CSA cases on there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
If they're exposing the parental alienation, then one of the main causes of parental alienation is actually the CSA, CMS.
But the big thing is, Craig, you've got to think about it. Loose women, they're just like the MPs, mate. They're puppets on the stage, and the producers and everybody else at the back.
And of course, there's a media blackout, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's media blackout when it comes to bad press about the CSA. They're quite happy to pump out the rubbish about all guys being deadbeats and absent parents or deadbeats, and
but we've proved them all. But we've proved them wrong.
Indeed, we have.
So, Craig, well done this week, but I love you.
Love you too, man. Big love.
And I love everybody who's watching this, and thank you very much for your continual support. Look, anything you want us to talk about, anything you want us to pull in, give us a shout, because we can go anywhere, we can do anything. Just bring it on stage. If anybody wants to come on and talk, please get in touch. What do you reckon, Craig? Let's push this. Fill your boots, come on and have a chat with us. It could be anything. I don't give a... I stuck up for a word. I was going to say something, and then I thought, no, I better not, because it didn't sound right. So I had to stop that. Anyway, so that's where I am. I love you all. Craigie, don't forget, if you need to talk, reach out, all right? You're not alone. We all struggle with emotions, all right? So reach out and have a great weekend. Craigie, anything you want to say?
Bonus notches, chaps.
Bonus notches. Love you. Adios, amigos.